Well, Bob.
Okay.
Hey, Barry, are we going to make it official tonight?
I believe so.
All right. It's been quite a trip for you.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. Can you guys hear me?
No,
Yes.
Yes.
fine.
All right, then. We're good to go. Suppress background noise, yes. And there we go. All done.
Okay, can you guys hear me too?
Yeah, I can hear you, Joe.
Okay.
Excellent.
And I'm gonna mute myself.
Michael Callahan on the go, as always.
Always doing something.
Amen. Amen. All right, then. What do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see the gallery here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Char's with us. Hi, Char.
Hi guys, good to see you all.
See you too, sweetie. Okay. Pete is auditing the meeting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. We do have a quorum, and therefore we do not need to delay the start of the meeting. I will wait until the top of the hour. Hope everybody's doing well. I will go ahead and tell you guys that this will probably be one of our briefest board meetings because I am not feeling well.
Oh,
I tested negative for COVID. That's the good news, but this cold or flu or whatever it is has been kicking my butt for the last couple of days. And I crawled out of bed about an hour ago to prepare for this meeting. So we'll be back. We'll be in it and through it.
Okay, you go for it. We'll help.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're down, but I'm glad it's not the COVID.
Amen. And you know what? I only succumb to even a cold or a flu once every few years, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Actually, it could have been much worse. It could have taken place during my Christmas season or in the run up to the reunion. So
You're frozen.
What's wrong?
I'm just grateful.
Okay.
I
I thought your magic remedy was that liquid.
got it right here, my friend, and it has presumably it has done me well. But even such a prophylactic as the liquid Centrum, I suppose, must occasionally come up short against the panoply of viruses that are out there now. And anyway, I teach my kids when they were growing up. I believe in karma. I believe that life is going to be a balance one way or the other. And if there are good things in your life, then you should just expect that there will be. I actually refer to them as deposits to my karma account. If there are deposits to my karma account, which are when good things happen in my life, then you must expect that there are going to be withdrawals from my karma account as well. And the best you can hope for is that those withdrawals will take place in small increments, so that I taught my kids growing up that when something, bad, not bad necessarily, but when something troublesome or annoying happens to you, instead of saying damn it or something like that, say thank you. Because stubbing your toe and getting cut off in traffic and dropping a cup of coffee or something like that, these are all minor withdrawals from the karma account and may avoid a broken leg or a traffic accident somewhere down the road.
Okay, it's top of the hour. I don't know who is up there not looking at us. Is that Mike Kelly?
We have two more that just joined us. John Lorne, ELF1, the San Diego director, is able to join us for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And Craig Ball, the Orange County director, was able to join us just a moment ago. Michael Callahan, the Arizona Santas director, is with us right now. Bob is the president. Tim Marsh is the secretary. Joe McGreevy is the vice president. We have 8 voting members of the board with us right now, which means we have a very strong quorum. And without further ado, I will begin the meeting. I call to order the first quarterly meeting. In fact, let me go ahead and share my screen because this is going to be a little easier as we power through this. Everybody see this agenda now?
Nope.
Yes.
There it is.
Okay. All right. Chairman calls the first quarterly meeting of the 2021-22 Board of Directors to order. Secretary notes attendees and reports status of the quorum. Sorry to usurp you there, Tim. Formally report a quorum if you don't mind. Tim, can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay. We have 8 voting members, so we do indeed have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
All right, thank you. The chair then proceeds to regular order of business. Approval of previous minutes. The secretary has tendered the minutes from the August 26th Q3 board meeting in 2021. And since most of the information there is no longer extant, I move that we waive the reading of the minutes and incorporate them instead to the archives.
I so move.
And second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I will note one thing, though, but as we pass the minutes, there is one item that I want to direct your attention to. Under old business, we said the chair expresses the board's gratitude to all chapter directors and officers for their efforts to keep their members informed and engaged during the long national nightmare, which was the COVID pandemic, and asks what the board can do to help each constituent chapter resume normal operations as state and county public health authorities relax prohibitions on in-person meetings. That was not as prescient as it sounded when I wrote that.
Sure,
All
it's
right.
there, yeah.
You always have to be hopeful.
Moving onward. Thank you very much. All right, financial statement.
Wait, huh?
Okay, a financial statement referring to Appendix A.
I knew that.
This is our first quarter financial statement. We have the Chase business account, the general fund, still after paying all of the reunion expenses, we still have $5,831.53 in the general fund. Can I mute you, Shar, until, or can you mute yourself? Is that who's, I'm sorry. Whoever has somebody else in the room with them speaking. Thank you. And let's see here, the PayPal membership fund now stands at $5,551.59. And our reunion fund, after paying all of the reunion expenses, stands at $2,318.25, giving us a total reserve of $13,701.37. And again, that is after settling all expenses with the relating to the reunion, and does, by the way, include the generous stipend from Cherry Hill Programs, which was previously reported as pending. It has since been deposited to our account and is included in the Chase General Fund. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. This is really going to be a fast meeting. Open issues. Chair reports on behalf of the 2022 Reunion Planning Committee. Reunion co-chair Rick Irwin moves to postpone financial report until election of a new treasurer. As you guys know, we're in the process of electing fiduciary officers, and I probably got the cart before the horse here because one of the new business items is going to be seeking permission to advance the election date. But since we are pending the election of a new treasurer, and the new treasurer is going to be intimately involved in the accounting for the reunion, I move that we postpone the submission of the reunion financial report until such time as the new treasurer has been seated and has had a chance to go through the books.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Thank you very much. The planning committee is in possession of all images captured by Cherry Hill. By the way, they were very generous with the photographs. They provided us with over 1,000 photographs. Preparations are underway. Actually, I've already begun compositing the 2022 reunion yearbook. I'm about halfway through the guest gallery. Ad sales will continue through March. Bob, I would love to get together with you at some point in the next week or so and decide who we're going to send who we're going to have printed for us. I have not been able to locate and on my records who we got to do it last time. So if you can, this is just a heads up to look it up in your records, and I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, my friends. Okay, moving on. Item B, a few reunion attendees subsequently reported positive COVID tests. No serious medical issues have been described. I will point out that since some of these reports were up to 10 days post-reunion, there's really no reason to assume that the exposure took place during the reunion. And even if it were, I also hasten to remind everyone that the Omicron variant has blown its way through the population of this country, and it is expected that by the end of this month, every person in this country will have been exposed to the Omicron variant, and it will have forced upon us the herd immunity, which so many of our fellow citizens have stubbornly refused us the opportunity to develop. So there was absolutely no long-term medical.
Did you freeze Rick Irwin?
Did I freeze Rick Irwin?
No, there you go.
Okay, no. So long story short, there's no reason to attribute any long-term attenuation relating to the COVID pandemic to the reunion. Looks like we completely dodged the bullet on that one. And I will also add that following those reports, which mostly took place on our members-only social network on Facebook, the admins contacted me. I assure you, I had absolutely nothing to do with this, but I was contacted one day while I was driving. Two of the Facebook admins had to deal with posts from a member, Associate Victoria Giddings, who was reportedly harassing reunion guests for their refusal to join her in boycotting the 2022 reunion. And after a couple of warnings, which were ignored and openly responded to by openly challenging them to remove her from the board, they did in fact do so, and did so with my blessing. Since there has been no attenuating blowback in the 10 days since that took place, I have removed the second item telling you that I would report in the future if anything did so develop. I do not expect it to do so. So moving on to new business. Now, the fun times. Santa Barry Walsburg is here, and I tell you guys that this is a blessing long in the development. The Central California Claus ambassadors have long been a pillar of the fraternal order, and following the schism in 2012, they were unable to reactivate their chapter, and in fact, due to internal issues, they have postponed this long anticipated day until now. And it is with extreme pleasure that I introduce you guys to Senator Barry Walsburg and allow him the floor to report on the reactivation of the CCCA.
Well, thank you, Rick. Yeah, I just, we went through some turmoil and changes, and I was able to grab a hold of the group and kind of do a restart, so to speak. And we're in the process of changing our bylaws. I think we're going to follow a lot more closely with what Forbes bylaws are. In fact, I'm kind of hope you don't mind copying a lot of that stuff word for word and putting it in
It's
our
our
own.
blessing.
But so far we've got 24 total people on the books. 7 of them, I believe, are Forbes members. We've got 3 more Santas that we're going to encourage to do the same, and hopefully we can move forward and be one big happy family.
I will point out before we move on, in fact, I'm going to move this over to the other screen so you guys can see it. These are our bylaws of the Fraternal Order. And as you can see in section 5, article F, the following groups shall be our founding directing chapters, and for that purpose shall initially be exempt from article 4, section 5, part D, which I will recap, just describes the difference between a participating chapter, which has 5 Forbes members, and a directing chapter, which has 10 Forbes members and is allowed to appoint one of those members as a director to represent them to the board. Since CCCA was written into the bylaws as a standing founding directing chapter, they do not have to wait until those other 3 board members are certified in order to send a director to the board. And with that in mind, the chair moves for formal reactivation of the Central California Clause Ambassadors, a founding directing chapter of Forbes, according to section 5, part D. It is moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Thank you very much. Santa Barry, congratulations and welcome to the board of directors. I presume you are, at least in the interim, nominating yourself as the director to the CCCA.
Yes, yeah. As far as I know, I'm the only. Like I said, we're redoing our bylaws, so I'm the only officer. So at this point, yeah, it's me.
It is entirely appropriate and acceptable that the chapter president also be the representative director on the board. In fact, several of our chapters do so. Bob.
Yeah, I wanted to tell all the people that are kind of new to this that the Central California Clause Association has supported our reunion forever. There's always been a strong contingency from the Central California Clause ambassadors there at our reunions, and Barry has sat on senior speak and his wife has given a workshop. And even though it's taken this long to resolve all of this, they've been supportive of us all along the way.
You bet.
And I'm going to spare Barry the embarrassment of sharing with you guys how hard he's begging for the CCCA to be the sponsoring chapter for the 2025 Santa reunion. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I have, if they do decide to host a chapter, I realize that their location is a little unfortunate, being where they are in the center of the state. However, they are only an hour or so away from some of the greatest tourist attractions in California along the coastline. So we may be able to work out something with them so that we can help them set up a reunion sometime in the next decade or so.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, absolutely. I heard him say yes. Okay.
Whoops.
Okay, moving on. The Santa Tim is the chairman of the elections committee. And on behalf, I am also a co-director of all standing committees according to our bylaws, and excuse me, co-chair of all standing committees. And Tim and I have discussed this, and we have decided that it would be appropriate because of the difficulties and the challenges that we faced in the last month in the run-up to the 2022 reunion, and because almost all of the committee members were also members of the planning committee for that reunion, there was simply no bandwidth remaining for most of us to do anything regarding the election cycle. And with that in mind, I move that the board grant permission to postpone the 2023 officer elections from February 15th to March 15th.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Thank you very much. Now I will hand it over to Santa Tim. And Tim, if you don't mind, are you prepared to share with us the current state of nominations and acceptances?
You know, I don't have them all together. We have several people who have been nominated who are not interested, but
You know what?
almost everyone's been reached out and contacted. There are one or two that we're still there. The group is still trying to reach out to.
Okay. As it happens, I do have nominations. There we go. Nominees. As of, I believe, 2 days ago, these are the nominees who have accepted. In the category chairman, there has only been one nominee. That is me. Everybody that entered a nomination for that chair railroaded me. So under the category of president, Joe McGreevy accepted last week, and as of this morning, Michael Callahan has accepted the nomination for the presidency, so he will also be on the ballot. And I sent you an email, Michael, but I didn't receive a response. You were also nominated for the office of vice president. You can be on the ballot for two different offices, and should you happen to be elected to both offices, you would be given the choice of those two offices, and whichever you decline would be presented or directed to the second vote getter in that category. Would you be interested in accepting the nomination for vice president?
Yes,
Thank you very much, Michael Callahan.
whatever I can do, my friend.
Say it again.
Said whatever I can do, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, for the office of secretary, we had 3 nominations. Bonnie Callahan, I believe. Did Bonnie accept that or not, Michael?
No,
Okay, so Bonnie has declined formally. Gary Sisson's wife, Vicky, was also nominated for that office. Gary has not been, we haven't been able to reach Gary. His voicemail box is full. He's not responding to emails. And if we are unable to contact Gary, Mike, if you have an opportunity, if you have some way of getting in touch with him, maybe another private phone number or something like that, would you try to reach out to Gary and find out if either he or Vicky would be interested in accepting their nominations for?
I can do that.
Okay, Gary is nominated for vice president, and Vicky is nominated for secretary. And if you could get back to us in the next 48 hours or so, we are going to begin posting the candidates to our form site and allowing them to at least posting a candidate statement. So just let us know. At this point, Dottie Runke is the only confirmed nominee for the office of secretary. And as far as treasurer, again, Chuck Kelly is the only one who has been nominated. He was nominated by at least 5 different people, and nobody else has been nominated. So he will be running unopposed on the ballot. And as far as I know, that is the current state of the candidacies. And Michael, Tim, Joe, Rick Rosenthal. Oh, for vice president, I'm sorry, I should have been stipulated that Tim Marsh, our current secretary, has agreed to stand for the office of vice president. And the founder of the Northern Lights Santa Academy and head of the Atlanta Santa booking agency, I forget what he calls it, Santa Rick Rosenthal is a very famous Santa on the East Coast. He has had specials on Vice and HBO, and I can't even tell you who else. We are actually lucky to have him interested in participating in the election. So I can't wait to see what he wants to post for his candidate statement. And we just all heard that Michael Callahan has accepted the candidacy. So it looks like President and Vice President are going to be the hotly contested offices this year. And we have already got permission from the board to postpone the election until March 15th. So Tim and Craig is also on the elections committee. So we will, Daniel Pless and Charlie Bush and I will help you guys reach out to these candidates and help them formulate their candidate statements, which we'll post on forum site and distribute the link to all of the voting members. Thank you very much. Also,
Rick, I have a question on that one. Do we want to put a size limit on it or not, or?
500 words, I guess, would be a reasonable limitation.
It does seem reasonable. I'm just asking.
Absolutely. Actually, I should say that you're the chairman of the committee, my friend. So you make whatever recommendation you think seems appropriate, and I will advocate for that to the board. Joe, you were saying something.
It's I before E except after C. You've got my name spelled wrong every place.
Okay. All right. Is that a fact? It is. Your name is I-E-V-Y, not E-I-V-Y. You are right.
Yes.
I have that misspelled everywhere, including the roster, your records. I'm so sorry. I stand formally corrected, and I will seek out every place that I have misspelled that for immediate correction. Thank you, my friend. I assure you that there's no insult intended. Okay. Okay, moving. Oh, the other thing, the other relevant business for the elections committee. The elections committee began with a series of 5 bylaws revision proposals and was able to whittle them down to the 2 that most relevant that we could agree upon. And therefore we are seeking we are recommending to the board of directors that the following 2 bylaw revisions be placed on the ballot for the membership to vote upon. Number 1, the increase of fiduciary officer terms from 1 to 2 years. And number 2, allowing surviving spouses of deceased members to maintain associate status without paying annual dues if they attend 3 chapter meetings per year, including the annual luncheon. And since both of these have been discussed at previous board meetings, unless someone would like to comment on either one of them, I will pause to allow such. Okay, then, on behalf of Tim and the elections committee, I move that the board of directors sanction those 2 bylaw revisions to be included on the ballot this year.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, very good. All right, that takes care of most of the business for this reunion, for this board meeting. So I move on to the very pleasant section of recognizing our travel director, Char Martin, to tell us, to report on the current status of planning and registrations for the
Just about get
2023
ready to.
cruise. Char, are you still here?
I'm here.
About the cruise.
All right, my dear, the floor is yours.
Thank you for having me. I'm very honored. First of all, I wanted to report that we have 37 staterooms booked with 53 passengers.
Are you guys going?
And as of today, I was going to book 2 more staterooms with 4 passengers.
Who's going?
And when I called,
Yeah, I plan on it for Monday.
Hang on, I'm going to mute them for a second. Go ahead. Go ahead, Char.
When I called them to book the 2 rooms, they said, "I'm sorry, the booking is locked, L-O-C-K, and the sailing is closed." And I'm like, "What?" So I couldn't make the bookings, and nobody knows what's going on. So I'm going to keep on top of it. I spent 2 hours on the phone today and a lot of tears. So I'm still working on it, but I wanted you to see, this is the book that I've got everything booked in. I've got total notes of everybody. And one of the things that I had needed to talk about was to get an idea, not now, but later, of the meetings that you might want to be having on the cruise, because they have certain costs and packages that they want to charge per person on the meetings. So I can send you the list that they have, you know, or once you decide what, if you're going to have a meeting when you're at sea or what, how many meetings and all that stuff. That's kind of important. And
did you already tell us the current number of cabins and guests?
Say that again?
Did I miss you? Did you already tell us the current number of cabins and guests registered?
Yeah, we have 37 staterooms booked and 53 passengers. There's quite a few singles. And I have 2 more ready to book when Carnival opens up their thing again. I don't know why that they closed it for temporarily. And so as soon as that happens, then we'll have 39 staterooms and 57 passengers.
And
So-
what was the reason they gave for closing locking the registrations temporarily?
Nope. All they said, they quoted is the booking is locked.
Okay.
The sailing is closed due to capacity guidelines because of COVID. I said it's 11 months away.
Okay.
So I'll keep on top of it.
Okay. And
And
to address your previous comment or question, there are 2 at-sea days. The 2nd and 4th days of the cruise are at-sea days. The first of the at-sea days, we will be attempting to have workshops. We will need presumably 2 rooms, 2 spaces for workshops that will seat, let's say 40 members, 40 guests on the 2nd day of the cruise. And on the 4th day of the cruise, we will be having our reunion luncheon as we did in 2017. That will be Sunday.
Okay, on the 4 spaces or the 2 spaces you need for the workshops, about how many hours would each one be?
There'll be, let's say 45-minute workshops with 15 minutes in between. And we will hopefully have 2 workshops in each room. So a maximum of 2 hours, approximately 2 hours. And I just remembered that on the embarkation night, the first night, we will also need a space for the meet and greet, but we will not need food service.
Okay. Well, I'll send you what they sent me yesterday. It was about all this stuff. And it's like, they said that it was like mandatory that you are required to purchase a beverage plate package for all social gatherings and a minimum of 20 persons to plan a private event. So, well, that part doesn't matter. So I'm going to address that again as well. But when they sent me this price list, I'm like, ugh. So I'll send you that so you can figure out how you want to work around that. Okay. And then the other one was, oh shoot, where was it? Bear with me, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I had another one but I can't remember what it is. Or one of the things that is they had sent me an email the other day saying by March 3rd, we have to we have 16 more passengers to book. And they charge $25 a passenger that is not booked by then. And our allotment is going to drop. We're going to lose everything. Right now we have 3 8D balcony, 8C balcony, 2 6A, and 3 interior. And Dottie Runke has been in touch with me, and she's working on up to 7 cabins that she wants to book. And I texted her or emailed her today, and she came back and said that she's got 4 she's working on right now. So I told her that she needed to get them in as soon as possible. And that'll pretty much use up a lot of this. But once we lose all that inventory, they won't give it to us again because they've expanded it 3 times already, they claim.
Okay, what's the cutoff date for that allocation block?
March 3rd.
And the $25 per berth holding fee, is that refundable or applicable to the booking once it takes place, once we put a body in there?
That I don't know, but I have a whole new issue with them, because if they blocked us from making any bookings, how
True.
the heck do they expect us to use it up?
True. Okay, so that's a question that you can clarify for us, whether, and how many total are we? Okay, how short are we? How many actual numbers are we short for that to reserve that? How many of those berths would we have to reserve at $25 per right now?
16, but I already have two ready to book, so that would be 14. And then when Dottie comes in with at least 4 more bookings at 2 people per stateroom, that's gonna make it, a lot better.
And I'll be booking with you tomorrow.
Okay, good. Thank you, Senator Craig. So there's one of them. And go ahead and relieve yourself of the anxiety, because we will issue payment for those $25 berths and hold that block. And if you can get clarification as to whether that $25 would be refundable once that berth is registered, then that would be fine. But even if it's not, we'll go ahead and guarantee that to maintain that block.
Yeah, well, I just don't get it. If we're locked, we can't make any bookings. How do they expect us to get these things taken care of?
And
But once we lose our allotment on if we use all of this before March 3rd, then that's good. But then they're not going to give us any more special rates. We're going to be at the mercy of whatever the rate is when we book the next group or the next couple or stateroom, and that could be more and it could be less than what we're paying now. We don't know.
Okay, once you have just a little more clarification on that, we will obviously issue another broadcast inviting everyone to get their early bird registration in ASAP. But once that deadline passes, I have to say that we have given all potential guests for the reunion ample opportunity to register at the early bird prices. And if they have not done so, then it's certainly not your responsibility. You shouldn't take on any additional anxiety regarding that. So go ahead.
I really enjoyed working with all of the Santas and their spouses and the women that are coming in. There's a whole bunch of women that are coming in, a lot in the single rooms. And most of the women are on 8C, and the Santas and their spouses are on 8D. So
that's probably wise. I think that's a good move. Keep the guys away from the girls.
Well, I give them a choice now because I only have 2 more 8Ds left. And I don't know, I've been trying to, when I have somebody that wants to be next to somebody else, then I maneuver it around. So the next 2, Art Brown and his niece, their family, 2 families, I'm going to put them on the 8C because I'll have a better chance of getting them close to each other.
Okay. All right. I have to be honest with you, the 8s and C's and D's don't really mean that much to me, but I know that we're in excellent hands, and I will get together with you in the next day or so to hammer out the details of the final broadcast, and we will get as many of those early registrations secured as possible before the March 3rd deadline, at which point we will issue payment to reserve the remaining block.
Okay, would you get to, with Dottie? She said that she wants one balcony that might be a wraparound, and she mentioned you about it. So I don't know if that would be a deciding factor or what, but.
Well, I told her that I had gotten one, and I could see the envy in her eye as soon as I said that.
Okay, well, I'm still on top of everything, no matter what. So.
I believe you. Okay. In that case, you and I will get together in the next couple of days, and we will send out a final broadcast to secure as many remaining early bird registrations as possible. And after that deadline passes, then I'm sure that we will still get registrations right up to the cutoff until the cruise is completely full. Which
yeah. I know what I was going to say. Sorry. Okay. We have 4 amenities that we can use up for our cruise.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I can send you a list on what that is too and let you pick it out.
Can
That you
briefly
guys can
describe
choose
the
it.
option? Can you briefly describe the options to the board? Since we don't really have a planning committee yet, I will talk to Tim and Bob about that later. Could you briefly describe to the board what those options might be, or is that?
This is the whole list. So what I
Okay,
would do
fine.
is I could email you that and you can forward it to everybody. How does that sound?
Can you read off a few of the highlights? What are some of the amenities that we would have options to?
Okay, we have four amenities. We can do, oh shoot, let me see what's a good one. Premium wine in complimentary wine, or robes in each room, but they're only one size. A tote bag.
So are we.
I know, but it depends on what size they give you, you know, a premium cocktail party for up to 500 guests. And that's,
Oh, that sounds like our meet and greet right there.
There you go.
That's two amenities. Let's see, we're on a 5-day cruise, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 2 amenity points. So we could do that one, a premium private cocktail party, maximum 500 guests.
Yeah, we won't have that many. We'll probably have about 100. So that might
Yeah.
work out just as well. And maybe instead of 500, we'll only need 100. So maybe they'll take one amenity point. Anyway, okay. So the board knows that, is aware at this point that we have some options before us for amenity points, but we also, as you say, have a number of, what is it, still 9 months out, 10 months out. So we'll get together. We'll have another board meeting in the next 3 months. So we'll have more information to share with everybody then.
Okay, and I got a call from Santa John Jones today. And he suggested some kind of like opening up a Facebook page for Santas, but you guys have enough Santas pages now that you can promote this on, or do you want to keep promoting it?
We do want to promote it. Of course we do. We have a reunion page, FORBSSantasReunion.com. I don't know whether I would want to burden our Facebook admins with another group page, but we may. Well, I'll discuss it with them.
Okay,
All right.
that's pretty much what I have, but I can send you this, and I can also send you the list, the bar thing for when you have meetings and stuff.
Okay, you send me anything that you think I should share with the board and with the planning committee, and then you and I will decide what we want to share in the broadcast, which will go out hopefully by the end of the weekend or the early next week.
Okay, well, I'll let you know when I get back with Carnival. And see, I tried to make those 2 bookings on I have a Carnival page, travel agent page, and it was totally blank. It wouldn't let me do it.
Okay.
So I called them up, and that's when they told me that. So I'll be checking it every day. They said maybe 1 day, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. And I'm like, hello. So I'll be on top of it.
All right. Thank you so much, Shard. That takes care of the 2023 cruise reunion section of the meeting. I know that we're going to lose Elf1 in about 3 or 4 minutes. So without any further ado, I will call for any remaining new business to be brought before the board. Yes, Tim.
I just want to go ahead and talk about the 500 word limit for the form site for people that are running for office.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I just want to suggest that we do put a cap on it. I'm not suggesting that anybody's going to write a novel, but I would like to give people an idea of, one, what a cap is, but also that they should probably try and get close to that number when they submit.
And we also have, on the form site page, we can also post graphics. So,
Awesome.
yeah, thank you, Char. I'm going to go ahead and mute you.
Sorry.
No problem. And I'm going to, Bob, you can unmute yourself. I'm going to ask you to unmute. So if you guys had heard what he said, we're going to put a 500 word cap on the candidate statement on the form site. We can also ask them to post obviously we would like them to post a photograph or a headshot of some kind. And if they have any promotional materials, I guess we should discuss right now whether it will be acceptable for them and what type of promotional materials would be acceptable. For instance, Rick Rosenthal in Atlanta might want to post something referencing the Northern Lights Academy, and Santa Joe might want to post something referencing the new Santa group that he has going, the training academy of in San Diego that he has going. Bob, please jump in.
Well, if you put a limit on the words, why, whatever words they want to use to convince people to vote for them, have at it.
Okay, and we are going to allow a headshot, obviously, some kind of photograph, but should we also, and John, before you go, I'd like you to jump in here. Would it be acceptable for us to allow promotional graphics as well?
Well,
I'm gonna sign off,
at least
guys.
a
Thank you
headshot.
so much.
Okay, at least a headshot, right? And if they wanted to post something regarding a group that they're sponsoring or training in class or academy or something like that, that they're, obviously it would be relevant to their qualifications for the office. Would we want them to be able to post those, or would we want them to require a tie-in to the office specifically? In other words, could we allow them to post something about the Santa Academy they teach simply to develop their own personal character or their qualifications as a professional Santa, or should we limit it to postings relevant to the office?
I think one of the big pieces that you run into is the 250 is probably a good number, but if they do it right, they can do it as bullets. I've been a president here and a vice president there, and I've been a Santa for 25 years. Those are the kind of things that people are going to read. If you lay out a storybook in front of them, even a page long, you're going to lose them about a third of the way into it because they're going to get tired of reading. They're looking for obvious things, and I've seen it in organizations. Somebody will write a big long thing, and the guy that wins it is somebody that came in and put bullets, past president of this organization, current vice president of this, or that kind of a thing. They're looking for people that are, well, one, willing to do the job, and two, their exposure or experience in being a Santa.
Okay, so you're proposing perhaps a 250 word limit on the candidate statement. And a headshot, and yes or no, everybody, on the other related graphics? Yes or no? Tim?
I wouldn't have a problem with a single graphic.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Along with the headshot.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great idea. So a headshot, maybe one additional graphic. Joe?
Well, in the description, can we put something like, okay, I'm with San Diego Santas, and have that as a link to that website?
That's another good point. Yeah, I think we should be able to link to external websites. Yes.
Hey, they're selling themselves not only to the organization, but people that don't know San Diego exists. Yes, I think the link to us or to any organization would be a plus up.
I will point out that Santa Rick Rosenthal sells his training online. So if he were to link to the Northern Lights Santa Academy page, it might be construed by some as recruiting for his own financial benefit. But I agree with John that this is a part of his self-description and his qualifications and should be allowed. Okay, so I believe we have a blessing, Craig and Tim, from the board to define the candidates page as we have discussed. Is there anything else anybody would like to bring before the board?
Move to adjourn.
So moved, I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I say nay. John, thank you for joining us. I apologize. In the future, I will try to not schedule board meetings for the fourth Wednesday. If anybody else has a standing conflict on a fixed day of the month, please let me know so that I can add that to my future planning rubric for the dates of the Q2 and forward. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a great day. Good to see you guys. Bonnie, Gretchen, I love you so much.
We love you too, brother.
Bye.
Nice to see you now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.